Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at undoing and redoing within the program. But before that, let's have a quick intro first. So today's video can be found on softwaretraining.co.za, and we make short and easy to watch problem solving videos, and we also have daily updates. Otherwise, if we head back into the program here, we're going to be looking today, like I said, the undo and redo features. By now, hopefully you know what it does already, but if you don't, I definitely would say watch this video. Otherwise, you can just skip along. So in order to use it, I'm first going to quickly create a new sheet here. I'm just going to make it 2000 by 1000, thickness 6. It's just as a base for us to start with. Then I'm going to add some shape, or a basic round shape. I'm just going to make that 200, the width and height, and then I'm going to make this, not 9000, just make 9 of them. Don't know what will happen in the program if I do that. So in any case, we go add, we've got our shapes over here. Now in most programs, there's multiple places you can find your undo and redo. Like you'll go to file, undo perhaps, or it'll be perhaps an edit, something on that line, where unfortunately in this program there's only one place. And also another thing to keep in mind, you cannot unfortunately use your shortcut keys you used to, which is Control Z and I think Control Y to redo. So that is also something to keep in mind. I find myself often hitting Control Z and nothing happens. So I'm just going to add these shapes. I'm going to start on top here. I'm going to add one at a time just so we can look at the function of undoing and redoing. So let's just go all the way to the end or till we've out of shapes. And then yeah, so there we go, we've got our shapes. So now the basic concept of this, if you've not worked with undo and redo before, is the little arrow that shows backwards will be basically stepping back your work, and the one forward will be redoing those steps that you've undone. So obviously we have not undone anything, so we cannot go forward and redo it. So basic terms is undo and redo, which is universal throughout programs, at least most of them, like an industry standard. So now let's say we want to undo, maybe we've added too many shapes. Now undoing can be for multiple reasons, but most of the time it is because you made some form of change or something which you are not happy with, or perhaps you're not sure about. Oftentimes you can undo and redo just to see the difference depending on the type of program you're using. So now let's say we want to undo and only have 4 shapes. We can simply click undo till we only have 4 shapes left, which is very convenient. So instead of going now manually selecting it, deleting it, next one selecting, deleting, you can just undo till you're there. Now let's say you realize, okay, you actually needed 2 more shapes. You can just go redo till you've got those 2 shapes. So that's how the basic principle works. And then if you redo till a place where you've not made any changes, it will gray out again, which means you cannot redo. Same works with undo. There's normally X amount of undo transactions you can do depending on the memory and what it's set to. Some programs allow you to set it, so if you want to do custom ones, but keeping in mind that will also up the amount of memory the program uses, as every step you make, it will store in the memory so that you can at some point go back to it. Now also keep in mind, because it's got a form of cache, let's say we have these amount of undos, we undo, and then we redo, then we make another change, then one will disappear, and then eventually another one will disappear. So eventually you cannot undo to such a far back state because of the amount of undos you have. So that's also something to keep in mind. And another thing, this will vary from program to program, but that is, let's say in this case we've undone to there, then we make a change, and then you want to redo. You see we have a problem now. We're not going back to all our shapes. So you've in essence now stopped your redo, but not, because this is where it gets confusing. Now in order to redo those other steps, you're going to have to undo, because we did a new action. So if I undo, it brings back all those actions, and then we can undo and carry on from there. So that gets a bit confusing. So every new step you make creates a new state. So this was our final state. We couldn't redo more, but now we can because we made a change after that. So now if we redo, it will take in account all the ones that was gone and the movement. So there we go. We've got a new state that's beyond all the rest. So that concept can get a bit confusing, and sometimes you think you've messed it up because, as you can see, you cannot go back, but you just have to undo and it'll reset it to the previous state you were in. But yeah, otherwise that is it on undo and redo. So a lot of these stuff we covered is maybe not too relevant. It's good to understand how it works, but for the general gist of it, just understand that one way will undo your steps, other way will redo the steps you've undone. So you obviously cannot redo past something you've not done, because it's, that's like going into the future, where this kind of just works more in the past. So you can go into the past and try go back to the present of where you were lost. But the nice thing is you can go to a point in your past and carry on from there if you wanted to. So that's why I often mention that this is only a digital type, feature. It would be great having this in real life at times for some of those choices we've made. But otherwise, yeah, that is it on undo and redo. If we head here to softwaretraining.co.za, you guys will notice we've got a variety of different softwares we do cover, and you can also isolate your search on the top right. If you do not, however, find the training videos you're looking for, just simply go here, request a training video, fill in the mini form, and then we'll do our best to try and make that for you. But otherwise, thanks guys for watching, and cheers.